Worthy Race Recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like Justin Barstow. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description down below. All right, 450s here. So Sexton goes 1-1, stamps this.
Final lap on no TV right now.
Yep. Basically, I had made the comments leading into the weekend after the whole Jet news came out that it was between him and Hunter. And if Hunter could win a moto this weekend, it would be a dogfight the rest of the summer. If Hunter couldn't, then it was basically going to be a runaway. At this point now, Chase can beat himself, and that's basically it.
This is his opinion.
I mean, I don't know. Hunter looked like he was probably going to win that first moto till he went down.
Sick.
But then too, Chase caught him, and then Chase would lose a little bit, and then Chase caught him. Like, Chase is clearly faster.
So what's that say about a runaway? It says you got a good fucking race on your hands here.
Hunter needs to win next weekend. Now we did get dicked a little bit because with Hunter going down there, it from what I know, talking about to the Honda people yesterday when we went by there after the race, it just kind of took the wind out of his sails for the day, which is kind of what led to that second moto being the way it was. But if he wants to stay in this, he's got to win. He's got to win at least a moto next week, because otherwise it's going to start to get out of control here.
What do you mean for him to stay in this? The points chase, we're about C's. Can't be that hard.
Sexton is, let's see here. So Sexton's got 260 points, and Hunter has 253. So we got 7-point difference.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Quit talking about a runaway.
I mean, the problem is that Hunter hasn't really won a moto or done well in a moto, and what I mean by that is beat him and Jet, Chase and Jet, since he got the points lead. He got the points lead that weekend that Jet went down, and then has basically just been carrying that forward here. But he hasn't really beat these guys since then. So you go 2 more motos where you get beat both of them by the same guy. That starts to turn into a mental problem then of like, fuck, can I actually beat this guy? I don't know.
How many are left?
5?
5 rounds, 10
5
motos.
rounds, 10 motos, yep.
7 points is nothing.
I know 7 points isn't a lot. I'm just saying from a mental aspect here, you got to start to win something, because he hasn't beat Chase in I don't know how many motos here.
Yeah.
That's the problem there. It's not the 7 points. The 7 points is like, yeah, whatever. You know, Chase gets a third and he wins. We're 1 point difference. Like, that happens. Whatever.
That's one moto.
That's one moto. I understand. I'm just saying, you got to start to, because you have to believe, this is the same thing when Jet went down in Hangtown. Chase wins that first moto, then comes out, has that ride the second moto. That starts instilling confidence that he can run with him and actually beat him. And then here we go. We've seen what we've seen. Now you get it where he's like, well, this dude, now Jet's gone. Okay, cool. That chess piece is off the table. Now you've got Hunter, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, Hunter's fast, and like, yeah, he can get hole shots and lead me, but I catch him, and I fucking beat him every time now. So, like...
Hey, can I do you a favor real quick?
Yeah.
Your tag's hanging on your hat. Help me
Oh,
out.
is it? Yeah, that'll happen.
I hate that shit myself.
Okay. Anyway.
You look good, you feel good.
Look good, feel good. So anyway, so that's where I think it leads to, is if it's on a mental side, not so much a points thing. Now, then again, too, as you always say, nothing's ever guaranteed. Chase can hit the ground, get a shitty finish, 1 moto, Hunter wins, and we're right back together.
Kevin Moran's can well win next week, for all you know.
I mean, he could, but it's just, I don't know, man. It starts leading down a path of like, what do you really like? What's your mental mindset? Is your mental mindset, hey, I can beat him? So, any thoughts on Sexton going 1-1? He looked killer yesterday.
That's awesome. So I'll tell a story we were talking about a few minutes ago. I'm standing in the mechanics area, second moto, probably 7 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's battling with this Japanese dude I never heard of, who's good.
Yeah.
And Chase is coming up on him to lap him.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And
I know the story now.
We're coming around the mechanics area. So the first corner, left-hander by the mechanics area, left-hander, and then a right-hander with a hump on the inside, and then the ski jump.
Mm-hmm.
And Kev comes around his right hand. I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty fucking good. He's going to catch this Japanese dude. And Chase Sexton comes around that corner a full gear faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, whoa. I've been in this my whole life. And I said, whoa. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, when I was watching the first moto, I didn't actually know who won because I had a shit going on. But in the first moto, when I was watching, I said, it's going to be hard to beat Hunter Lawrence today.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to Chase. It was the coolest race to win for him.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool that he won.
Because he hadn't won a moto, let alone an overall at Redbud, his home race. So,
now Hunter had the points lead, and now Chase has it, and that was a 10-point swing.
No, that's overall results. Hold on a second.
Oh,
we'll get to the
10-point swing. He made 10 points on him. Now he's up by 7, so that's a 10-point swing.
I think they were only 3 behind, and now he's up by 3. So it's a 6-point swing on the day.
I thought you just said he's up by 7.
I don't fucking know. I'm so maybe. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what's happening.
This is awesome. I'm so happy to see that.
Yeah, it was busy this weekend too. Really busy.
Redbud's so fun, but the place was packed. It was awesome.
AP goes 4-2 for second. That was a great ride for him.
He looks super good.
This is just the kind of stuff I see from him all the time. He's just going to be there. He's not quite championship dude. He'll be championship dude if
he could be.
He's one of those dudes that could sneak one in if everybody else has major issues, but he doesn't have that last little bit of, I don't know if you call it speed, grit, whatever.
It's just a tiny amount.
It's half a click off basically. So, but that was cool to see him yesterday get second, go 4-2.
I think that
he rode well.
Number 7 gets 2 more moto wins this summer.
That'd be cool to see.
2 motos.
Mm-hmm. Hunter goes 2-4 for third. Like I said, talking to the Honda guys, he was totally fine, was what I heard, or what I was told. He was fine. It's just it took the wind out of his sails when he hit the ground. And I will tell you, the way he hit the ground in that first moto coming down that hill, that was not fun.
Buried in.
I mean, I know I watch how fast those guys come off that hill, so it's not slow. And then to just freaking pile drive yourself in, terrible.
We're a lot of 450 guys doing the leap.
So not in first practice. First practice there was half a dozen maybe, if that.
As the day went on and it dried out, you can carry a lot more momentum.
Yeah. And Kev had said that, because I asked Kev after first practice about it, and he was like, the corner's terrible.
Yeah, it was too deep.
Which makes sense. So,
once it dried out, though, for the motos, when it was dried out, you can carry a lot more momentum through that corner. Honestly, I didn't ride it, but it looked like the easiest I had seen Redbud in a long time. Usually you can't fucking make it.
Yeah. Since they changed it last year, it's definitely more jumper friendly, we'll call it. So
I'm on the other side of the track, so I can't see that. But I was real curious.
I was too most of the day, outside of first and second practice. So all right, Jason Anderson goes 5-3 for fourth.
Looked great.
Yeah, looked really good.
Aggressive.
Really happy with the day there. Led that second moto for a little bit there, whole shot and lead for a little bit, so that was cool.
Him and the Australian dude.
Yeah. Webster, yep. Had a good battle. His trainer, if you haven't seen him, we talked to his trainer, John Wessling, in the reaction show. Said that they were super happy with it. Really good day for him. Super pumped. Also told us that he will get moto wins over Plessinger the rest of the year.
That was kind of rude on my part. That's okay.
Nah, it's okay. It was funny. He was laughing about it. So
he could get one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he could. He could, especially with Jet being gone now.
You can't do it without a whole shot.
No. Justin Cooper goes 3-6 for fifth. He rode super good yesterday. He was smooth all day. Sexton and the Kawasaki guys, Anderson and Tickle, who we'll get to, they all rode press and were working on the leap and press or whatever. Justin Cooper did not ride press, and he was greasing that leap. Yes, I mean greased it from the first go yesterday. Like probably one of the smoothest guys I saw jump the leap all day.
Yeah.
So
he's really good.
He is
his
super
mid
good.
corner speed is the best. Mm-hmm. Some of the guys like Jet kind of bunny hop their way through the braking bumps, and their corner entry is real good. Justin Cooper's corner mid is really good. Mm-hmm. His roll speed. He
has to be like one of the quietest, best dudes out there. Like just sneaking around of doing what he's doing.
This guy's nothing quiet about him. Number 7.
No,
Awesome.
that cowboy's just out there yeehawing, Redbud and everywhere,
He's halfway between Dale Earnhardt and Macho Man Randy Savage.
and it's the
I
best
love
thing
him.
ever.
He's awesome.
It's the best thing
My
ever.
nieces and my nieces and nephews love that guy, so they got his autograph and stuff. And it was prior to practice, like when maybe second practice when you do your practice starts for 5 minutes. We were next to Plessinger, and they're doing interviews and stuff. And it's like, man, I hope my nieces and nephews see this because cool. You know what I mean? Like some of those things you don't forget when you're little.
Yep.
I love that stuff.
Yep. Malcolm Stewart goes 6-7 for 6th. That's a good ride for him as far as outdoors go, in my opinion. So he was
looked awesome. He looked great.
tip over second moto there, cost him a spot.
He was 6th, right?
I think so. Yeah, most of that moto, and then he tipped over at the top after that uphill triple in the back there.
Oh,
Yeah, so which doesn't surprise me. The ruts got a little bit deep. They were not as bad as what they said they were for practice on Thursday for the amateur practice. I heard it was terrible, but it was pretty.
shoot. Was it muddy?
Oh yeah, they said everybody I talked to said that the Thursday amateur practice was fucking horrible. They had 110 people per practice on the track.
Damn. Mm-hmm. I don't love that.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
I do love Redbud. I got a lot of laps
I do
there.
too, but I'd rather go do a local race where there's not that many people than do national weekend anymore.
The thing for me is safety for myself. Mm-hmm. And when you're on a track, especially for me, like whether I'm going faster than everybody else or whether there are people out there that are slower than me, it's dangerous.
Yep.
Shit happens real quick.
My thing is that like, so I've done the national weekend stuff, like the practice day there with that many people. It's like all you're running is from yellow flag to yellow flag,
Yeah,
and you can't get any momentum going. You're rolling stuff, really.
Especially when you're in C practice. That's brutal.
Oh, it is. I'm telling you, it's literally yellow flag to yellow flag to yellow flag. So,
Doggy paddling their way around.
yep. Marchbank 7-8 for 7th. I think this is a good comeback for Garrett here, coming off the injury. So we'll see if he makes that SMX playoffs or not. Kyle Webster 10-9 for 8th. Great second moto.
Kyle who? Looked awesome.
Tom's like,
He
I have no
looked
idea.
awesome.
Australian leading the points in the 450 class in Australia. They have a big break here. That's why I came over and did a couple.
Killer starts.
Dude, that second moto start was insane. He came around, and I have it on film of him going over the ski jump there, and I'm like, holy shit, Kyle Webster just pulled a hole shot. That's nuts. Little rough at the, like, he definitely faded a little bit. That happens. But a little rough, too. The exhaust fell off at the end of the moto.
Oh.
It was literally, like, last 2 laps was flopping like this when he went by. I'm like, oh, poor guy. So, but that was a great way to wrap up his USA tour here. So, shout out to him. Harry Koulis, 9-12 for 9th.
Look good.
Had some Estonia girls by the turn at the bottom of the ski jump with the Estonia flag. Every lap he went by, just freaking screaming. Maybe it was his wife. I don't know.
Love it.
But that was cool. Christian Craig goes 8-13 for 10th.
He was. I saw him a few times in the mechanics area, and he was not having a great time.
I don't think that Husky's been a great time for him since he got on it. And I don't think it's gotten any better. And I'll be interested to see what he does next year.
Is he under contract another year?
No, he's out after this year. But still big Christian Craig fans over here. And Paige Craig. Pretty much both of them. Great people.
I respect him as a racer. He's very skilled. He's one of the most skilled guys we have. He still could be competitive, but I really respect the family man in him.
Yeah.
And his bride. Bride goals.
Yep, super cool. So Grant Harlan had a good day, 11-11 for 11th. So that's cool.
Fucker damn near ran me over.
That's awesome. In the pits?
Coming out of the, like as the race ends, the mechanics walk out of the mechanics area and the riders come off the track. It's a good thing I was watching because he wasn't or something.
Dylan Ferrandis, hating life right now, 19-5 for 12. Actually, that first moto was rough because him and Phil, so he got bumped by a guy coming through the chicane before the finish, and then
He had to come from way back dead last.
Yeah, and then ended up getting caught up with Phil there. Typical Phil, gets up and does this. So, yeah, I mean, but he's not a fan of that Honda anymore. So he was very excited to get on it, and from what I understand now, he's very not excited about it. So here we are.
He rode great. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. He didn't look bad. He
Yeah.
didn't look like a race winner, but he looked
Yeah, he looks good.
like 14.
Yeah. Brock Tickle making a triumphant return to racing here. 12:15 for 13th. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much where I thought he'd slot in. Somewhere 10 to 15 range. I mean, he hasn't raced in years. He hasn't raced in years. And they got him in Impress, and he was the first guy to huck the leap, and he was just greasing it. Like, out of everybody else was like, oh, kind of, oh, a little short, oh, a little long. Nope. Tickle, just greasing it. Just greasing it.
Those factory bikes got to be sweet, huh?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Marshall Welton, 17-14 for 14th.
Did he go down the first moto?
Yes. He had a bit of a rough day. But
I think both of them he came from behind because
he didn't
Kevin
look...
was in like 30 range.
He rode press too and didn't look good on press day either, so...
He's so good. He crashed pretty hard last week though, so
Yeah.
maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, he was okay. I saw him walking with his chick after the race, so he obviously isn't hurt, but yeah, well, whatever. Phil goes 28-10 for 15th. Again, got caught up with Dylan there in that first moto, so coming from way back. Shane McElrath goes 13-19 for 16th. Okay, that's pretty much Shane. Anthony Rodriguez, Wildcat Racing. Wow. Wildcat. Goes 14-20 for 17. Alvin Oslin, that's how it is. 18-17 for 18th. Colin Park, 15-26 for 19th. His exhaust was blowing up on him too, that second moto.
This is awesome.
His bike sounded terrible.
Evan the deer.
Champagne showers and the fucking deer. That deer is awesome.
That's so good.
Let's
Nothing like
see.
Redbud, baby.
Roman Pope goes 24-16 for 20th. And Freddie Freddie.
Dude, he's lucky to be alive.
He is 16 DNF for 21st.
He first framed Larocco's on practice. Correct?
Q1, framed the shit out of it. I have my view and a different view of him framing the shit out. I also have pictures and videos of the bike. Fucking destroyed.
I gotta see it.
Whole ass end from where the subframe mounts back, just destroyed. And then he framed it again in the second moto and DNF'd, which I thought was really funny because he did it early in the moto, and I was standing next to his wife watching the race, and she stood and watched the rest of the race. I was just like, you realize your husband's not out here anymore, right? So anyway, but I am glad he's okay. Chiz had a rough day. Yeah, dude. He was like side saddled on the bike first practice over Larocco's, like first or second lap, not even trying to jump it. I don't even know what happened. But he was like side saddled and then went down. Michigan's own Jeff Walker made the motos, went 30-36 for 35.
He and Kevin were
battling,
having hella battles.
And then Kev was like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to send the leap and put 2 seconds on him. And that was it.
Well, and then I think that Jeff hurt his knee a little bit too. Oh, there's a crash.
Yeah.
We're watching Ferrandis and
Phil
Phil's
here trying to
tangled
get
up.
their bikes apart.
Their bikes are playing Twister.
Yep. And then Jace Kessler also made the motos and goes 37-35 for 38th.
I talked to him before first or second moto, and I was kind of like, look, dude, you need to represent for us local boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's having a little tough time right now, so see what he can do.
Yep.
He's got the skill to do it.
He does. And that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha, who didn't race this week.
He was there.
Was he?
Hell yeah, he was. He was with us all day.
I didn't see him.
Nice guy. You want to see him do well, and apparently his knee injury doesn't require surgery, also known as his race season doesn't require his super motocross playoff chances.
Contract does not require him to ride.
Doesn't require him to do outdoors. He's already got his ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, he was there. Jet was there, windmilling people on in his cast all day, so that was cool. Saw him first moto windmilling Hymus on, so
Love to see that.
yeah, it was great to see him show up. Of course, we were like, I mean, you were standing there, we were joking with his mechanic after the race about like, well, everybody he hangs out with is here, so he might as well have come. Like, otherwise, what's he gonna do? Sit at home by himself? So, anyway, Complete Racing Solutions halftime report.